Welcome back, guys, to yet another World of Warcraft video on this channel. Today I have a little bit of an interesting one for you guys. Now, by the title and also from the thumbnail, you can tell that this video is going to be about whether or not getting a second account is worth it. Now, before we do get into the video, make sure that you guys drop a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel with all the notifications on. And I want to make sure to thank all the patrons over on Patreon for supporting me greatly pretty much all the time. And there's so many people on this list that it barely fits in on the screen anymore, which is quite awesome. But also, some of the reason that there's so many people over there just besides wanting to support me, there is also a bunch of great benefits like the tier 2 over in there. You can get TSM groups. You can also get my sniping groups for Point Blank Sniper, for Auctionator, which are great for your sniping activities. And besides that, you can also get a very long document of alt army gold making activities, and it's the daily gold making activities for an alt army. So if you're interested in anything that I just said, make sure that you check out tier 2 on the Patreon. Now, let's get straight into the video. A lot of people keep asking me, they come into both the stream, but also a bunch of my older videos where I talk about multiple accounts or my alt army, and they ask, when is getting a second account worth it? Like, what am I supposed to look at when I'm thinking about setting up a second account? Now, for me, I obviously have 5 accounts and a 6th one for my Twink, but I have 5 active accounts. That's like the most accurate thing. Now, what I started out as thinking would be worth it for my gold making activities when it actually came to getting a second account, it would be, can the account pay for itself? The reason for me getting the second account would be obviously to make more gold. Is the second account allowing me to make enough gold to pay for it every single month with a WoW token? Now, obviously, we can't really see what the token is on this one, but at the moment, the token is sitting at 313k at the time of recording this video. Now, you have to think for yourself, can getting a second account at the moment make you 313k? That's the way that I would go about it. Now, if it's only breaking even, and it's not really doing more than that, then obviously you're at a point where you're just spending gold to spend gold, and there's not really a point. Like, you obviously want to build towards something that is going to eventually make you more and more gold. Now, if your main purpose isn't really just making more gold, that's also fine. Like, if you're trying to build up a big alt army or something to farm a lot of collectibles, to farm a lot of mounts, transmog, whatever it is, then that is also completely fine. The main perspective for this video is more on the gold making front, because that's what we do around here on this channel, and that's why we're actually focusing more on what you can make. Now, I'm going to give you guys a couple of examples if you're not exactly sure what a second account could do for you. So if you have 2 accounts, right, not only can you craft twice as fast, but you can also have one account that's out doing activities or out farming, while you have one other account that's sitting on the auction house, and you can repost your auctions, or you can have a sniper running if that's something you're interested in. And obviously that is being able to, over time, repost your auctions all the time, and also having a sniper is going to make you more gold in the long run than having, obviously, you post your auctions once and then you go out and farm a bunch of stuff, and then you come back and, you know, a majority of auctions probably haven't sold, and then you have to repost them, post the stuff you just farmed, then you go out again. So that is something that can help, obviously. Now, the second part of it is obviously how much time you have, because you have to think about, do you have enough time in a week, in a day, to make it make sense, right, for a second account? Now, if you're paying for the game on both accounts with real money, that's obviously a different question. But if we're talking about it from a pure gold perspective to see if you can make enough for that, then, you know, it is something that you actively have to think about. And it's okay to bleed some money for a bit while you're setting something up, but it's just important to set up a plan, like, oh, I want to do these professions, or I want to farm this, or I want to use this character or this account to do sniping, or use this as my bank character to do just regular posting and reposting. Or I want to go out and farm on 2 characters, right? I want to do some gathering, I want to do a 2x4, or I want to farm some dungeons, or whatever it might be. Before you make the decision, which is obviously probably why you're watching this video, set up a plan for how you can make it possible to pay for 2 WoW tokens a month. Now, some people, and I've also seen this before, are like, well, San, I already make enough gold on my main account to be able to pay for 2 accounts, right? And then they're like, I would really just like to have the second account just because it makes things easier or comfy or just overall nicer to deal with, which is also completely fine. That's just something that you have to get to by yourself, right? If you have 1 account and it can easily pay for 2, well, then you can get 2 accounts. But just in my perspective, it just always has to be worth it, right? I have 5 accounts active. If one of them could not pay for the other one, or I couldn't justify it, then I wouldn't be using the gold on it. Then it's just a waste of gold. You're just bleeding money. So it just depends on whether or not you're fine with that, or you're really trying to figure out if you can make enough money to support having that extra account. So that's a couple different reasons for why you could obviously make it worth it to have a second account. There are lots of other reasons and lots of other opinions about why or when or if it's worth it to get a second account, if it's even something that you want to do. And if you guys have anything specific like that you thought of yourself or something that you've been considering, make sure you drop that down in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to talk about it. And also, if you guys have any questions about setting up a second account, or if you're wondering about anything, then make sure you also drop that in the comments below. There's a lot of people, including me, that have quite a lot of knowledge on it. And if you want even more active communication or just gold making talks, make sure that you join on Discord. That it also has a link down in the description below. But that is everything that I had for this video. I know this was also more of a talking one, but it's, you know, they're nice to have. It's talking points that I find interesting, and it's also something that is fun for me to bring up with you guys, because it starts conversations about something that is actively talked about on my live stream, but not so much here on the YouTube, which is why I wanted to bring it over here as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until the next one, see you guys.